royal family manipulate the media. I'm talking about the print media.
The predominantly right-wing press have pushed William and Kate up on this incredible, untouchable pedestal. So
that much of the negativity towards the couple is coming from within the royal family.
William is not a very good advertisement for the monarchy, both personally and in terms of any kind of intellectual hinterland. He is going to run the institution of the monarchy into the ground when he becomes king.
It's a fact that every anti-Harry and Meghan story comes from Kensington Palace.
But why
and if it comes from Kensington Palace, why are they briefing against their own grand...
In November 2018, a headline appeared on the front of The Sun that would follow Meghan Sussex for years. Meghan made Kate cry. The story said that before the royal wedding, Meghan had left Kate Middleton in tears over a bridesmaid dress fitting. But years later, Meghan told Oprah the opposite happened. Kate made her cry. And Kate apologized with flowers and a note. So how did that original story get so big, and why did the palace never correct it? Today, we're looking at a new piece of the puzzle. Camilla Tominey, the journalist who first broke that story, and her long direct access to Kate Middleton. Camilla Tominey sat on her podcast, The Daily Tea, and casually told a story about something that happened back in 2007. At that time, the tabloids had just reported that Prince William dumped Kate Middleton. Tominey's news desk told her to follow up, and somehow she got Kate's private phone number to confirm the breakup.
So somehow, I can't even remember how, somebody knew Pippa who knew somebody. I got her telephone number and I literally phoned her and went, "Hi, it's Camilla Tominey from the Sunday Express."
You phoned her up?
Yep. And she went, "Oh, hello." And I said, "Listen, I've seen the story in the Sun. I'm really sorry to bother you, but do you have any comment to make about this? Because I've been asked to try and follow up this story." And she just took a breath and she went, "Listen, I haven't ever commented about this relationship before, so I don't think I'm going to start now." And I went, "No, you're right." I was like, yeah, fair enough. And, just thank you. And can I just say, just good luck in life, because I thought it was over.
Tominey told this as a harmless bit of royal nostalgia. But here's why it's important in 2026. Camilla Tominey is the same journalist who, in 2018, first reported that Kate cried during a bridesmaid dress fitting. Her story, with two separate sources, was then turned into that brutal Sun front page. So when Tominey casually mentions having Kate's private phone number back in 2007, it raises a serious question. Was the well-sourced bridesmaid story coming from inside Kate's world? Let's go back to 2018. Tominey, then at The Telegraph, wrote that Kate was left in tears after a fitting for Princess Charlotte's bridesmaid dress. Her sources were unnamed, but she said they were solid. Then Jack Royston at The Sun turned it into a front-page bomb. Meghan made Kate cry.
Really hard week of the wedding, and she was upset about something, but she owned it, and she apologized, and she brought me flowers and a note apologizing. What was hard to get over was being blamed for something that not only I didn't do, but that happened to me, and the people who were part of our wedding going to our comms team and saying, "I know this didn't happen."
The palace never corrected Tominey's original story. The Sun never apologized, and Kate herself never said a word. Now, some people might try to excuse Kate's silence over the Meghan made Kate cry story by reaching for that old royal mantra: never complain, never explain. The argument is that Kate simply stayed quiet because that is what royalty does, right? She was just following protocol. Nope. Never complain, never explain is just a convenient excuse for what looks a lot like hypocritical behavior, because there are plenty of examples of royals complaining when it suits them. And with Kate, don't let the blank stares and PR image fool you. In 2020, journalist Ann Pasternak wrote a Tatler profile titled Catherine the Great, describing Kate as perilously thin, which Pasternak intended as a compliment. William and Kate did not find that cute. They threatened to sue.
And Kate and William said they were going to sue Tatler. So I had 4 months in which I was rung up by the Tatler managing director and told, and I had the world's media saying, please, can you speak, please? And I was told, please don't.
So Kate and William will deploy their office to correct a mildly critical profile. They will plant a front-page victory narrative. But when a global headline says, Meghan made Kate cry, a story that made Meghan look like a villain, they said nothing. Here's what makes Tominey's role even more striking. Before Meghan married Harry, Tominey was impressed by Meghan.
Girl has got a lot to offer. She's not just a pretty face. She clearly has got a great interest in humanitarian work, which chimes beautifully with Prince Harry. I mean, she's a confident woman. If you watch any of her YouTube videos or you read anything she's written or you look on her website, she's very self-assured. She's very in tune with social media. She knows how to connect and communicate. But actually, that's probably what we need in 21st century royal life. I think
Tominey praised Meghan's humanitarian work, her UN speech, her social media savvy. But after the wedding, something changed. When Meghan guest-edited British Vogue's Forces for Change issue, which featured 15 women, only 5 of whom were white, Tominey wrote that Meghan had shown bias. She asked, quote, "If I was pale, male, and stale, I'd be feeling pretty discriminated against right now." Before Meghan married into the family, Camilla praised her as confident, self-assured, and exactly the kind of woman 21st century royalty needed. Yet after the wedding, that same confidence was recast as difficult. That same self-assurance became political. And Tominey flipped faster than press-on nails while manufacturing hostility toward Meghan at every opportunity. So what changed? It was not Meghan. It was press access, royal briefing power, and the need to protect the existing hierarchy. Tominey's 2007 phone call anecdote proves one thing. She had a direct line to Kate's private world years before her engagement to William. She admits she got the number through somebody who knew Pippa, who knew somebody. That's not a random tip line, that's a connection, but it doesn't stop there. In 2017, Tominey was one of only 2 correspondents invited to cover Pippa Middleton's wedding. That's not standard press pool access, that's privilege. And her social media tells its own story. In January 2020, when Harry and Meghan announced they were stepping back, Tominey tweeted, "A penny for Carol's thoughts right now." Carol, as in Carol Middleton, mother to Kate Middleton. In March 2021, she joked, "Carol with an E at it again," in response to a story about Prince William being named the world's sexiest bald man. These aren't neutral observations. They're the language of someone who is familiar with the Middleton family's internal dynamics, someone who knows Carol well enough to joke about her. So when Tominey published her Kate Cried story in 2018, she wasn't an outsider guessing. She was a journalist with documented access to the Middleton circle, and here's where the timing gets impossible to ignore. On October 15, 2018, Meghan and Harry announced they were expecting their first child, just as they began their Oceania tour across Australia, Fiji, Tonga, and New Zealand. By the end of that 16-day visit, the couple had drawn huge crowds and glowing coverage, but within weeks, the media tone shifted. Then came November 23, 2018. Camilla Tominey published a Telegraph story that dragged Meghan's Hub Community Kitchen project into a terrorism frame, placing the words Meghan, mosque, and terror suspects in the same headline. That matters because the Hub women were not a security threat. They were Grenfell women who had been displaced after a national tragedy and were using the Almanar Community Kitchen to cook, gather, and feed their families. Meghan helped turn that work into a cookbook that raised money for their community. Yet Tominey's framing made the project sound sinister. The double standard was glaring. The Queen, Charles, William, and Harry had all visited the Grenfell community before Meghan became involved, but they were not linked to extremism. Meghan was. And then came the reaction. David Vance, a far-right figure, publicly thanked Tominey for putting what he called his Meghan Markle ISIS Mosque cookbook story on the front page of the Telegraph. That tells you who understood the headline and who felt served by it. So the question is simple. If this was truly a national security story, why was it being driven by a royal correspondent? And why did the terror frame attach itself to Meghan, the Black Duchess, rather than to the institution that had already embraced the same Grenfell community? On November 26th, Tominey published the infamous yet debunked Meghan Made Kate Cry bridesmaid dress story, claiming sources said Kate was left in tears after a fitting for Princess Charlotte. Then, on November 30th, The Telegraph published Carol Middleton's first major interview titled "Life is Really Normal Most of the Time." So to recap, within a single week, Meghan was hit with 2 devastating headlines, and then Carol Middleton, Kate's mother, was given her own glossy profile in the same newspaper. And here's the key. After Meghan exposed the truth, Tominey still defended that story on This Morning in 2021.
What's interesting about them coming out with that now is, obviously, I'm well known for doing royal coverage, so at any point in time when we had published that, I would have expected to have received a phone call saying it's wrong or it's misconstrued, this mustn't be reported again. I don't know, you'd even expect editorial compliance to be involved. That never happened.
Tominey's right. The palace never called to deny it. But that's exactly the problem. The same Kensington Palace that threatened to sue Tatler over perilously thin, a compliment, sat silent while a story that painted Meghan as a bully circled the globe. Prince Harry wrote in Spare that Kate felt threatened by Meghan. If sources sympathetic to Kate wanted her protected, Tominey was well placed to receive that version. And when you look at how Tominey framed these two women over the years, the pattern is unmistakable. Meghan was framed through conflict, drama, ambition, difficulty, Duchess difficult, palace tension, press battles. Kate was framed through growth, maturity, duty, motherhood, making of a monarch. A royal to be reckoned with. The monarchy's greatest asset. The same traits were presented as strengths in one woman and weaknesses in the other, so when Tominey's tone toward Meghan shifted, it did not happen in a vacuum. It happened inside a press ecosystem where the Middletons had access, image control, and every reason to keep Meghan positioned as the problem. What changed was not Meghan's character. What changed was the press incentive, because once Kate Middleton became the woman to protect, Meghan became the woman to blame.
I didn't expect it, though, to get quite so tough quite so quickly. And to be honest, I think what we're seeing is something of an unfair pile-on. One story that claimed that Meghan made Kate cry had to be dismissed.
At an event with the Queen last night, Kate wearing a tiara from Princess Diana. Reports say Kate and Meghan are less than close.
Now, she's only been a member of the royal family for 6 months, but the Duchess of Sussex is certainly making, apparently, her presence felt.
Now, Meghan and Harry have made the surprise decision to move out of their home at Kensington Palace ahead of the birth of their first child, and it comes amid reports of a growing rift between the newlyweds and their neighbours, Kate and Wills.
William and Kate made their first public appearance today since ET broke news that there has, quote, been some tension between the royal couples. And now, as Harry and Meghan prepare to leave Kensington Palace for Windsor Castle, new rumors of a Meghan...
The Meghan made Kate cry story was never really about a dress fitting. It was about whose tears the press believed. Kate's alleged tears, reported through unnamed sources with access to her circle, were treated as fact. Meghan's tears, recounted by Meghan herself, were treated as revisionism. And when Meghan told Oprah that Kate apologized with flowers and a note, that detail was never contested by Kate. But it never ran on the front page either, because the original story had already done its work. It had turned Meghan into the villain, and protecting Kate's image was more important than the truth. The British press has a long history of tearing down royal women who don't fit the mold. Meghan was confident, American, mixed race, and outspoken. That made her a target. Especially when you consider the fact that she was pregnant with her first child, so she was extremely vulnerable. And journalists like Camilla Tominey, who had every incentive to keep her access to the future queen, were happy to supply the ammunition against Meghan. So, did Kate Middleton's press connection to Camilla Tominey actually create the Meghan made Kate cry story? Look, we don't have a recording of Kate calling Camilla and saying, "Get her," but let's stop pretending we need one. Because here's the thing about the British press and the palace. They leave a trail. Harry told us in Spare exactly how this works. He wrote that the royal family has been doing this for decades, planting stories, briefing against each other, using anonymous palace sources to control narratives. He pointed to his father's 1994 autobiography, to Camilla's media collaborations, to the whole dirty machine. And Harry wasn't just guessing. During his case against Mirror Group newspapers, their lawyers actually argued in court that some stories about Harry may have come from royal press officers or palace sources rather than phone hacking. And the judge later found that some Mirror articles about Harry were obtained through unlawful methods. Then there's The Sun. In 2024, a judge ruled that Harry could use further emails between News Group newspapers' executives and members of the royal household in his case. NGN later settled before trial, issued an apology for serious intrusion by The Sun, and admitted unlawful activities by private investigators working for the paper. So when Harry talks about palace sources feeding stories to the press, he's not speculating. He's got the legal receipts to back it up. But you don't have to take Harry's word for it, because royal reporters have admitted it too.
That much of the negativity towards the couple is coming from within the royal family. The royal family and staff of the royal family are the ones that are very often leaking these stories to the press.
Palace has a history of swapping stories. So if I am a reporter and I come to the palace and I say, I've got this like pretty scandalous headline about William, the palace would swap out that story for a story about Harry. They'd say, I'm going to give you this story about Harry if you'll kill this William story. So this has been going on literally for 20 years or so. Harry has been a victim of this forever. So this is not something that...
Remember, when I work in newsrooms, it's a fact that every anti-Harry and Meghan story comes from Kensington Palace.
But why haven't...
And if it comes from Kensington Palace,
right,
why are they briefing against their own grandson?
Well, okay, that's a very... The idea
why are there never any
I think that's fascinating.
About Prince William?
Were William and Kate involved in briefing?
And actually, when I was working, I shouldn't give the name of the paper, but I was doing a piece for one of the nationals, writing a piece. And I was told, because I'm quite critical of the monarchy in many ways, I was told I could say what I want about Harry and Meghan, but I had to lay off William and Kate. That was the instruction from the editor. So I think there was an element of truth in what he said.
So when we talk about whether Kate's camp leaked the Meghan made Kate cry story, we're not asking if the palace leaks. We know they leak. We're asking who benefits. And the answer is obvious.
The palace absolutely has to paint Kate in the perfect light. And if that means running over Meghan Markle, to them, it's justified. Kate is going to be queen one day. So they're doing everything in their power to keep her innocent and pure.
There it is, in plain English. Protect Kate at all costs, even if it means destroying Meghan. She let the press do the dirty work. And she has been cashing in on that silence ever since. Meghan was scapegoated not only by the press, but by Kate herself. And Kate is still scapegoating her to this day. What do you think? Should Kate have corrected the record, or is she happy being infantilized by the palace while they protect her image at Meghan's expense? Let us know in the comments.